What's up guys, Eric from Sonic here. Today we have here 2023 Subaru WRX. If you have been following our channel for a very long time, you'll notice that this car has been our video before. It's a few years back, I believe about 2 years ago, we installed our Encore Alpha 2 Series amplifier in this vehicle. This is one of the first Subaru WRX we installed the Encore Alpha amplifier on, and it gave really great results. This car has already aftermarket speakers on here paired with our amplifier, and this customer here is back with us again, and today we're going to be installing a power subwoofer. I'm going to show you how easy it is to expand our amplifier kit to add additional speakers. So today we are reusing the original Encore Alpha 2 Series amplifier. We're going to pair it with our BH8 plug-and-play harness so that it's very easy to connect a line-out converter to it. Alternatively, if you are new into this game of upgrading your sound system in your Subaru, we also have the new Encore Alpha 3 Series, which already has built-in line outs. So it's very easy to add an additional power subwoofer to it. You do not need a separate line-out converter. You do not need a separate harness. All you have to do is get the new subwoofer, plug it in through the RCA output, and you can just route the cables and all that under the passenger seat. So in today's video, we're going to show you how you can upgrade the Encore 2 Series to add a power subwoofer. Well, let's stop talking. Let's go inside the car and get it installed. All right, guys, now we're in the vehicle. The first thing we want to do is remove the trim pieces surrounding the screen. And once we do that, we'll be able to access the 4 10mm bolts that we're going to remove those, and then we can remove the radios. So it's pretty simple. So let me start off on the passenger side. Move the trim over here off to the side. Just use a little panel removal tool. You don't need to get anything too fancy. And then get a hold of this side and just pull it out. And just work your way to the left side of the vehicle. And once you remove this piece here, there's 2 Phillips screws that you need to remove. All right, just carefully. Just work your way around these panel pieces. Okay. And once this is out, there's one connector behind this trip reset. You do have to push down on the release. There it is. Okay, this release on this clip is towards the center of the vehicle, so it's gonna be over here towards the screen, okay? All right, so once that is out, here are the 4 10mm bolts we're gonna remove. We got 1, 2, we got 3, and 4. All right, and before we remove this, let's grab a really thick towel. Let's place it right here to keep all your interior parts safe. Pull this out. All right, so we conveniently place the amplifier up here, very easy access. And the new harness that we're going to be installing on here to grab the line out is actually needs to be connected to the back of the radio, which is on the bottom. So let me start disconnecting some connectors here just so I could get behind the radio. When you're disconnecting them, just make sure to not forget to reconnect it. Some of these cables on the bottom are pretty short. Just be a little careful. The connector that we are going to be focusing on to install our line-out converter are these 2 connectors here, the 6 and 10 pin connector. So I'm down here and let me organize these wires a little bit. If you look at the harness of the ENA 2 Series amplifier, if you guys already installed it, as you can see, you have this special connector here with a special circuit board. This is in order to bypass one of the functions required in order to get full control of your radio. Without this harness, you will lose the control of your car's volume. So that's why all of you Subaru people need to purchase this additional adapter here. It's being daisy chained like this, kind of looks a little messy. So we're gonna organize this a little bit. And on top of this, we're also going to add the line out converter BH8 harness on here. So when we connect the BH8 harness, it doesn't matter where you connect it, up here or down here. All the lines is gonna go through anyway. For us, we're just gonna connect it down here on the bottom here. It's gonna go through the harness that was already there. It's gonna pass through all the different signals, and then we're gonna bypass it down here right before it connects to the factory harness. All right, while that harness is being prepared, let me loom this up a little bit, organize it so it looks a little bit tidy when we reinstall it. We got the BH10 harness ready and connected to our line out converter. We have one from Pack. The BH10 comes with this connector here. This is a 10-pin connector. It also comes with a 6-pin connector. Because we're only taking the signals from the 2 front speakers, we are just only going to use this harness. We taped it up and cleaned it up a bit, but just give you an idea of how everything's connected. From this new line out converter, there's going to be 2 front speaker connections. The colors all match, so white and white with black stripe, and also gray with gray stripe as well. That's a plus and minus for the front speakers. We connect these in bullet connectors. That's how our harness comes, so we matched it with our Japanese bullet connectors. In addition, on the Pack device, there's a yellow constant wire, and there's also the ground, black ground, so we connected those two in here. It's all in here, it's all taped up. On the same 10-pin, there's the yellow for the battery, and there's the solid black for the ground, and it's connected to this harness here. And then there's also the blue remote wire that we extended, and we routed the cable all the way through to the passenger side footwell area, and we're going to connect this to this power subwoofer. This will give the signal to the power subwoofer to turn on. Lastly, so we'll go here to this open side. This is the part that connects to the factory connector, so we'll connect it here like so, and then the other side will connect to the factory 10-pin, and then the factory 6-pin will just connect to the original harness that was already here. There's a lot of harnesses and connectors, but there's plenty of room behind the Subaru head unit, so we shouldn't have a problem going back there. Another thing is we also need to connect the RCA cables left and right. Plug it in here, which will connect to the new subwoofer. There's also a gain control on here to ensure that we could adjust this later. So I'm going to actually route all this down here to the passenger side too. Around here, we're going to make it come out of here, but so that we can easily tuck it back in up there once we're done tuning it. So we will do that. So for now, let me just unplug this. I'll leave it here, and then let me route these cables and harnesses. Try my best not to tangle up anything and keep things clean. And then once we do that, we will reinstall the Encore amplifier and reinstall the head unit. So all we're left is the line out converter coming out of the passenger side footwell, which will connect to the new amp, and then from the new amp, we'll get the power directly from the battery from the car. Let's just test it really quick. All right, guys, we turned on the car. Everything's working. Now let's continue on with the install, but just so you know where we're at here, so we have the line out converter hanging out here. It's exposed so that we could adjust the gain on here before we put it away. And now we have this remote wire coming out here, and we just need to connect these two RCAs right here as well, like so. And the other side of the RCA with the remote will connect to the new power sub, and then from the power sub we'll have another ground connected to the car's chassis, and then the power directly to the car's battery. Go ahead and continue on with the install. We have this going on over here. Eric over there is routing the power cable through the Firewall to connect as a power source for our power subwoofer. It's doing that right now. Before we put the radio back in, let's route these cables over here so that it's all easily accessible. So let me do that, and then I'm going to reinstall the factory radio before we continue on with the rest of the power subwoofer installation. All right, so what we've done so far is we pre-connected the battery wire to route to the engine bay, and also our ground cable as well. We have a remote wire here that we're going to connect to this remote wire here. Okay, and then this will connect to our power subwoofer, and then that finishes just about all the connections we need to do. So let me organize it and then put this back and continue on. Here are all the connections that we need. Just organize these a little bit. Okay, so we got a few wires coming over here. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to route this up here. We're gonna go up here, here. We're gonna go behind this kick panel, and we're gonna go down under here. And because it's easier to route under the carpet from here to down there, we're gonna go from here. So to do that, let's remove these door sill. Just place your hand under it and just pull up from the inside. And this side here just being held by clips. Just pull on this, it should pop out. I'm going to go under up here, and then we're gonna tie it up here, some zip ties, and then bring it down here. These wires are plenty long, and we're gonna have some extras. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go under here, and then we're going to catch it down there. For the most part, many times you may need to remove the seat. Let's see if that's the case for this. And we were able to fit it without removing the seat actually. It will make the installation easier if you remove the seats, but if you have a really small amp like the one that we're installing today, it's not necessary. So let me actually attempt this without removing the seat. I'm gonna start off by trying to route one of the thinner wire, which is the remote wire, and let's see if we could successfully route it under there. And if we can, then we will not have to remove the seat. Okay, we're gonna use this wire tool here to see if we can route the cable. You can actually pull this up. These are big clips here. It's being held back, so you can just pull this back here. Makes it much easier to route the cables through. So we know we can bring the cable all the way out to here, just following the factory cable route. So you get to this area here. We're going to feed this wire through. I want to be able to catch it here. All right, so I used this little wire routing tool here, and I fed the wire from out here from the side all the way to the ground. So there's a little opening here. It's a factory opening, so we're going to route our wires through there. So once we have that routed, we're going to take the other side of the wire, tape the ends of the other side of the harness here, route it through the same way this wire was routed. All right, so I just realized right now that I didn't attach my blue remote wire yet. So I'm just gonna route all the cables through, and then once the wire's out here, I'm gonna attach it over here on this side. Almost like I didn't even need this routing tool, I just pushed it through. All right, here it is. So since the cable's here, I'm also just going to organize these additional wires and cables under the seat, because that's where there's most room, just to tidy everything up, and then we will test it on the actual subwoofer. This is our ground cable. We're gonna ground it right here, so I'm just going to loosen that 10 millimeter and just put it on right there. So we are good to go on our ground wire. Now let's work on the other wires. Go here, it's gonna drop here, and then like up to around here. All right, and the rest is all just extra cables. All right guys, so we are done organizing our wires. This is all we are left with. So let me go grab my power subwoofer, connect this, test it to make sure it works, and then we'll tuck it back in here. And we'll also adjust the gain as needed on here, and also the gain on our line out converter before we, we'll find a nice place for it up here. Here is the power subwoofer. There's a lot of functions on here, but for now, we'll just keep it on the default mode for testing. And all I have to do is add some Velcro tape on the bottom of this and then slip it under there so that it'll stay mounted on the carpet. All right guys, so for the power wire on the new power subwoofer, we need to get it directly from the car's battery. So we poked a hole on the grommet. We went through the inside of the driver's side and we came out through that right there. And then we wired it over here. And then right now the other Eric is getting the ring terminal ready to connect to the power wire. So this is how it looks on the engine bay. Let me show you how it looks under the car on the driver's side. All right, and over here we have the power wire here, and it just goes in through the grommet, and we route it. We fish this through the back of this side towards the passenger side, and don't forget the base control knob over here that we will mount somewhere on this side as well. There's some light here, which is a good sign. All right guys, so everything seems to be working well, so let me just tidy up all the wires and cables, and then that will complete our installation today. Okay, next we are going to add some Velcro tape under here, and then we are going to set it on the carpet right under the car seat. Down here, how we did it, we set it down. There's some extra wires and cabling that we tucked into the original hole that we routed the cable through, and there's some other excess cables that we inserted in the flap right in the front of it too. Just keep it as clean as possible. Yeah, it's on there, it's not going anywhere. And next, let's mount the base control knob on the driver's side. All right, and we went ahead and mounted a subwoofer controller right here so that you could adjust your gain depending on your mood. And the wire is tucked nicely here, and you know how we wire the rest. All right, so this is how it looks under the hood once it's all completed. We have installed the big fuse here for the new amp, double-sided tape next to the fuse box, and we have the wire traveling down over there and then to the grommet hole right here. All right guys, well that concludes our installation today. If you ever want to add an additional power subwoofer, this is how you do it guys, and you could easily do it using our BH8 wiring harness. If you have a newer Toyota, you can use a BH10 as well. We make it very, very easy for you guys. And if you decide you want to not use this additional harness, you want to just get an amplifier with line out, you can also purchase our ENA 3 series, which has RCAs built in there. It makes it the installation cleaner and easier. So if you want to save some time and effort, you can do that as well. All right guys, like always, thank you very much for watching our channel and following us and subscribing to us. Thank you very much. And if you already have installed our ENA amplifiers, and if you already installed a power subwoofer, share with us your setup. We love to hear it. We love to see which speakers goes well with our amplifier and your vehicle speaker setup. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.